Obviously, you guys knew coming in that had an easy matchup today, but what do you think were some things for both of y'all that y'all were able to get accomplished today besides being able to rest some guys?
I think we did a better job than we did on the last game. Having more ball pressure, doing what Coach wanted us to do. We had like 8 turnovers for the whole game, so I think we did a good job on the offensive end and handling the zone. So I feel like we got better in those 2 areas.
Yeah, piggyback off what he said. I think just sort of working on our offensive skill sets. Moving the ball around, finding guys, and limiting the turnovers.
How good did it feel for you to get a couple buckets today to try to get back in the groove offensively?
Good. It's always good to see the ball go through the net. I'm constantly working. It's going to come together at some point. But it's always many other ways to impact the game.
We'll go to Danny P here, second row.
DJ, obviously I got off to a good start. You was involved in the scoring early. Just talk about how good that felt and just being able to take control of the game from the start.
Oh yeah, we came in and hit our first couple shots. I was able to get a couple layups and get into the paint. Tolu came in the second half. He did what he did. So they opened up the paint for everybody else. So once we get going and hitting shots, the rest of it makes the game easy for us and Tolu. So
We'll go Colin, second row.
This is for both of you guys. Defense is a big part of your identity. At times, the first half, it seemed like things were a little bit slow on offense. Does it give you confidence in these games, knowing that you can fall back on the physicality in the defense?
Most definitely. That's like you said. That's what we rely on. That's our identity, and we take pride in it. So whenever offense is not going well, we can always sit back on that.
Yep, same thing he said. Same.
We talked to Coach Jans earlier this week, and I don't know the exact days, but I guess you guys have like 2 games in a span of 15, 16, 17 days, and he said for him, he loves it because it's practice time. As players, you want more games and practice time, but you guys being veterans, how much have you relayed to the other guys how important this time is?
It's real important. It's real important because, it's time to work on us. We got a big gap in between, so it's time to sharpen up things that, we're struggling with, and that's about it.
Got time for a couple more if you got them. Anybody else? All right, we'll wrap it up with David.
For both of you guys, back on the offensive side, you make shots in practice and you see how well it can perform. What could this offense be when these things start falling?
Amazing. I would just say some of our guys aren't fully playing to their strength offensively, and that's okay, because we're going to get it together, and when that happens, it's going to be a tough night for everybody.
Yeah, I would just say when everybody find their rhythm and everybody, get into a groove, I feel like the offense would be scary. We'll be, and with the defense we play, it'll be even better, I guess. I don't know what to say, but yeah, I guess that sounds right.
Coach, kind of the same question I asked the players. Obviously, you came into this game knowing you had a pretty big mismatch, but what were some things you wanted to get done today, and did you see some of those things get done?
Yeah, we're pretty honest with our guys with who we're about to play. So last game I talked a lot about, playing against the game or playing against the standard that we have. And so that was a big discussion item leading up to this game. And I thought for the most part they did a pretty good job. We were guarding early and they made some tough shots. I think their first 4 baskets were threes and a couple of them were really tough shots. So kudos to them. The other thing that I knew we would get a heavy dose of was zone. I thought it would be more 50-50, and it was 100% every possession. And that gets to be a drag at times, but it was so good for us to play against zone. We haven't seen a lot of zone. We needed the reps in live play against zone. Certainly we do it in practice, but you can't make that up, and it's just a different feeling in the game. And we did a pretty good job. I thought we executed when we called a set. Our point guards were getting them organized, and we got the shots we were looking for, and they didn't settle. That's the thing about how people play us, at least thus far, with the inside presence being better than the 3-point shooting right now. And it would have been easily to jack up, an early 3, and I thought they didn't take the bait and really move the ball and, explore the inside first. And then the ones we did take, I thought for the most part were good shots. And certainly would have liked to make more of them, but we could have shot 30-some threes this game if we wanted to, and they didn't do that.
Second row to Danny P.
As you talked about last week, you talked about trying to get Tolu a little bit more touches in different ways to maybe avoid double teams and such as that. How did you feel like you did that today? Obviously, had a good game, but just how do you feel like y'all did that?
Yeah, like I said, even though they're playing zone, we didn't give up on Tolu or Will for that matter around the basket, and I can't speak for them, but I would imagine at least for Tolu, it's hard to double team in a zone, especially when you're sitting in on the middleman of a 2-3, and so he probably felt like he had a little more space tonight than he normally does, and I was a little disappointed with him early because I thought he was like begging for fouls or expecting to get fouled rather than just going in there and finishing the play and getting the and one. He struggled a little bit early. Obviously only missed 4 shots, but the majority of them were early in the game. But it was good for him to feel good and get some touches. And I know his free throws are a work in progress for some reason, but 24 and 6, and he only had the 1 turnover all night long.
Colin, second row, black shirt.
It seemed like they were sort of settling for distance shots going against you guys early, and you only held them to 6 points, I think, in the paint in the first half. Do you think it was a case of you guys kind of adjusting defensively to stop them from distance, or did the offense picking up kind of take care of that?
I think we were much bigger than them, so it's hard the way we defend to just come down and get an easy 3 or a rhythm 3, and we try to take that away from them as best we can, and we really want to try to speed people up and get them to put their head down and drive it into, hopefully some ready defenders on the help side. But I can't speak for their coach or what their plan was, but they definitely beat us off the bounce from the top too much tonight. That was an issue that we had that we talked about throughout the game. If we're going to get beat, it needs to be more on the side of the court because our help's kind of built in that way. But when the ball's up top, there's not really much help side, and they exposed us a little bit that way. But I thought some of the shots they made early were tough shots. I mean, I thought we were guarding pretty well, and I think their first 4 baskets were threes, if I'm not mistaken. At least 2 of them were either shot clock threes or rainbow threes, and it kept them in the game.
2 questions. Seemed like Shaq kind of let the game come to him, didn't force anything, ended up with 6 assists, I think 2 or 3 from the floor. And any update on Rams?
Yeah, I agree. Not just Shaq, but with our whole team, continuing to work on making the simple play. Just station to station, don't hunt the dimes, don't hunt the ESPN dishes. Just people are open. Assist will mount if you just share the ball and move the ball. Don't turn down open receivers. But in particular, Shaq did a really good job tonight of just doing that, of just keeping it simple, not trying to do too much. He made some shots. He missed some defensive assignments, which disappointed us. But he was under control, 6 assists, 1 turnover. Certainly would take that all year long. Rams, his progressing. Could have played today if we absolutely needed him. But obviously we felt like we were in pretty good position with what we had available. And he's still not 100%. He's getting closer. He did some work on the court this week with us, not live segments, but some 5-on-0, some individual breakdown. Hopefully he'll continue to progress the next couple of days, and we'll reevaluate him on Monday.